welcome to the November 6th special call commission meeting. Several people out, they all.
There was.
Yes, I do get lights to see what it looks like.
One change in the agenda. The director, EMA director is not going to be here. They have the FEMA class tonight, and she will report the regular meeting. She did not have anything new. I talked to her today, so she will give our report. She'll give a report at the next meeting on the November 17th. So, back to the agenda.
Move to approve. Oh. Mine's not coming up.
Second by Commissioner Odom. Is there any discussion?
You got Jerry's phone, do you?
Okay, let's vote.
We're missing.
Here, Kim.
Yeah, here.
Here's
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And we'll have the opening prayer with Commissioner Todd and the pledge with Commissioner Johnson.
Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for the opportunity to act for the citizens of this county. And Father, we just pray that you would give us the guidance that we need, that Father, you would open our eyes and open our ears to what our constituents has to say. And Father, we just pray that we do it all for your glory. Father, we pray that you watch over this time, that you bless each and every one that's here tonight. And Father, we do it in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time for public comments. As always, you have 5 minutes. Say your name and what you should do here. Hold on just a second.
My name is Chris Little. I'm from Valley Forge. I noticed that y'all talked today about maybe giving the Herman Robinson over to the school board. I know there's a lot of things that they can do with it and use it, but here's something. Have you thought about other organizations that desperately could use some of the room in the area, but they've never come to ask because they, we put blinders on sheriff's department, just sheriff's department. Did you know that we have firefighters in this county? They have to go through what's called a burn house. Most of the time it's a metal building. To become a firefighter, before you can even pick up a hose and fight fire, you've got to do a 60-hour class and you have to complete a burn house. Plus you're supposed to complete the burn house once a year. Sullivan County has multiple ones. Johnson County has multiple ones. Unicoi County has multiple ones. Washington County has multiple ones. Every county around us has a burn house except Carter County. And you say, well, why hasn't the Fire Association come and asked for one? There's nobody got any land to build one at their fire station. But the lower corner of Arnie Hill, back into the bank, that would be an ideal place to put a burn house. And there is FEMA funds. They just gave $400,000 to Washington or Sullivan County. They gave 80-some to Washington County. Johnson County got some. There are grants out there, but they have to go through the burn house. We've been burning down old houses. Do you know how EPA looks on that when we burn those black shingles? It's 1,000 wonders they haven't come in and said, no more. You ain't gonna do that. No more. It's just a matter of time before somebody notices that happens. But we don't have a burn house in this county, and they have to go through that. Terry at the rescue squad. We're short-staffed. We never have staff. I've heard Elizabeth and PD have to put an overdose in their squad car and take it to the hospital the other night. We're having heart attacks weekly in the county. Did you know we used to have an EMT school? I went to it. Do you know where it was at? Arnie Hill. Chris Hightower taught it. Right now in schools, we're teaching CNA classes. Why are we not teaching EMT? These kids as a senior could be taking EMT classes. And when they come out, one that gives people for Terry to hire, that also gives Washington County, Sullivan County, Unicoi County, all these EMS services need EMTs to drive the ambulances and help. So a kid wants to join the fire department, he's got to wait a year before he can do anything, pick up a hose. He can graduate EMT school and start responding on car wrecks, heart attacks, and everything day one. We used to have a lot of EMTs in the fire departments here. I think Dillon at Rome Mountain's the only one, Stony Creek's got a couple, Hampton don't have any now. There's things that we can do to get this. You know, the sheriff's department, if a kid come to you with an EMT wanting to be a deputy, you think you'd hire him? It opens up the doors to other things. Sheriff's department, police department. What if they go into the military? What if they turn around and they say, you know what, I want to become a doctor. I want to become a nurse. I want to become LPN. They get training there up front, and they go out and they get experience in it. They learn what's going on. They see what's going on. The two back pieces up there at Arnie Hill, they both got garage doors on. Years ago, when I was in Nashville, we had a murder, and we had to go and discuss with the CID division what happened. While we were there, they had this big building, 20 foot high, 20 feet wide. You go in, you had to wear a suit to go into it, like a painter suit. You had to put on leggings. I really liked the guy. I said, you want to process the car with me? They had shop vacs on each wall. In the shop vacs, they put like a pantyhose with a coffee filter in it, put the suction on it. Right front, pull it out, mark it. Right rear, mark it. Left front, left rear, trunk. They kept the fibers and stuff. They had a lift in it to raise it up. He said, see this mud? I'm going to take a sample of that. That may match the crime scene. We may find blood underneath here. We may find body parts underneath here. We may find clothing under here that was associated with it. And when they set it down, guess what they did? He mixed up this concoction in 4 little boxes, put it underneath it, and he set the car down on it. He said, I'm getting tire prints right now. We need them under pressure. So when it left an imprint on the ground, it had its weight on all the tires. I've never seen anything like it. When he finished, they pulled the car out. They took a pressure washer, washed all the walls down, washed the whole place out. He said, I want it sterile. I said, this is more sterile than an OR. He said, yeah, but I'm going for a murder suspect. I want it to stick. We had a murder right down here at McDonald's. Little girl and boy, they got in an argument. He swore up and down that she pulled out a picture of her and her boyfriend. She stuck in his face. I got me and your boyfriend that's making out. She showed it to him. He pulled out a gun. He shot and killed her. It went to court. In court, he was arguing that it was a crime of passion. And his attorney was arguing that it should have been manslaughter. The district attorney was saying, no, it was murder. One of the Elizabeth and PD guys at the court went and checked the car out. He looked, he couldn't find it. He took the front seat out. Guess what was in between the console and the floorboard? The picture. You could take one of those garages in the back and make a CID investigation out of it.
Thank you, Mr.
Commissioner James Bird, 1002 Dry Creek Road, District 2. Recently, the full commission passed to extend the Schauf's contract another year, which in their contract, they have up to 5 years. It's 4 years beyond the first, so it automatically renews. I'm sure the finance committee went through that in great detail, making sure they're abiding by everything in the contract. I was surprised to see that Helene is even spelled wrong in the contract. Apparently no one caught that. So I'm not sure how well it was actually reviewed. In paragraph 3 of the Shell's contract, it states that they will only provide experienced personnel. I've asked this before. Do we have resumes, CVs on file? Have those people been called? Have they been vetted? Have we talked to other communities they've allegedly worked for? Just to make sure that we're getting our $1 million that was already paid, right? In section 4, they also say that they have several titles. But if you'll notice on the invoice, 90% of them are always at the highest rate every single time. There's not a lower pay. It's always a senior FEMA project manager. What's the qualifications for that? I've read that here before. Degrees in geology, environmental, flood studies. Do they have that? Have we checked that? Are we getting our $1 million worth? I've also heard the word expert thrown around. Would an expert not know that FEMA requires debris to be submitted in cubic yards and not tonnage? An expert, $1 million expert, wouldn't they know that? Would an expert recommend 3 engineering firms go across the street and look at a building over here that we paid for nothing, $20,000 plus? We didn't even get a report out of those 3. Then we had to have another engineer firm come back and pay. The expert, we had to pay the expert to contract people to come in here that we didn't need, that we had to pay for something that we didn't need. But we paid the experts to get them here, alleged experts. Did the experts let you know that in April of this year, the Trump administration ended the Building Resilient Infrastructure Community Program, commonly called BRIC. BRIC covers mitigation, safe rooms to prevent floods in the future. That program is gone. 20 states have sued FEMA over that. I didn't know whether the experts brought that up to you guys or not. And hopefully we're not still applying for it. FEMA has taken money back they awarded 5 years ago for that program because it was wrought with fraud, according to FEMA, not my words. 20 states are suing over that. Hopefully we're not paying the experts to still ask for something that a program no longer exists. When I get up here to speak, I have to say my name, my district, my address. Several months ago, one of the commissioners here present today said the name of one of the Shouse employees. And it was as if she had murdered that person. She got yelled at, chastised for saying their name. Isn't that kind of suspicious that we can't say someone's name that we're paying $1 million a year to? What, is there something that needs to be hidden that we can't say their name? It was off the invoices. It got taken off the invoices. Now it's back. I don't know why. I have a feeling somebody in Nashville made a phone call. Actually, I may know that. I don't think there were any bids put out for Shouse either. We don't know comparison wise what other companies would charge us. Even if we are getting money back, are we overpaying for that service? We don't know. There was bids put out the very 1st of October, so you can't say we weren't putting bids out. It's all on the spreadsheet. I have it all. We put out bids, but not for Shouse, not for that service. Just write them a check. So the question is Shouse working for the people of Carter County? Or are the hardworking taxpayers of Carter County simply working to pay Shouse? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? Take over now.
All right. All right, first up is motion to approve payment to landlords for invoice number 2.
Hold on just one second.
First up, I make a motion to approve payment to Landworks for invoice number 202-50442 in the amount of $5,600 for Poga Temporary Bridge 1. This one has already had a PO that's been approved for this vendor.
Second by Commissioner Wynn, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
All right, B is a,
Sorry, thank you.
B is a motion to approve payment to Landworks for invoice number 202-50443 in the amount of $5,600 for Poga Temporary Bridge 2, and a PO has already been approved for this vendor as well.
Second by Commissioner Brown, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Okay, thank you, motion passed.
C is a motion to approve a purchase order to Mike's Auto in the amount of $6,762.36 for the transmission repairs to the animal control truck for damages sustained during the Helene flood.
Second by Commissioner Whaley, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
D is a motion to approve payment to Slagle Construction for invoice number 220 in the amount of $770 for Shell for road improvements. A PO has also been approved for this vendor.
Second by Commissioner Range, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
E is a motion to approve a purchase order to Summers and Taylor in the amount of $1,134,200 for Poga Elk Mills road repairs. This is covered by the current state of Tennessee contract, so it does not require any cost.
Second by Commissioner Wynn, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
F is a motion to approve payment to Summers and Taylor for revised invoice number 202540-1 in the amount of $130,170.16 for Shell Creek road repairs. PO has been approved for this vendor, and the invoice had been previously approved for a lower amount.
Second by Commissioner Brown, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Motion to approve payment to Summers and Taylor for revised invoice number 202540-2 in the amount of $244,805.68 for Shell Creek road repairs. PO has been approved for this vendor, and the invoice had been previously approved for a lower amount.
Second by Commissioner Kemp, is there any discussion? Let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
H is a motion to approve a check request and payment to Shouts Professional Services for invoice 101025 in the amount of $46,905.62.
Second by Commissioner Wynn, is there any discussion?
Got one correction on this. Expense on page 18 is consistently misspelled. Travel is consistently misspelled, and mileage is consistently misspelled. Since these are going to be reviewed by FEMA, that might be important.
You can read that.
On page 18 of Shouse's invoice, expense, where it says hotel expense, is misspelled consistently through the document. Travel rates, travel is misspelled consistently through the document. And mileage is consistently misspelled through the document.
All right, anybody else?
And I got one question on the senior FEMA project manager. We're still carrying 3 of those, and we're a year out of this event. Anyone, I think that's a little excessive.
Well, what I can tell you is just like the RK&K, I see 5 engineers doing different projects. I can explain what each engineer does. I mean, I'm not an engineer, and
Well, I understand you don't have an answer for it.
I don't have an answer for that.
We need to get an answer why we have 3 senior project manager charges on here at $120 an hour.
And
Yeah,
do
it's-
different projects, so we can have Carolyn reach out to them and find out, or we'll reach out to them and find out. One of us can.
Reach out to them, so.
It's not an unreasonable question, I understand, I just, I really do not know.
Oh,
Some of the
I understand
engineers-
you don't have an answer
Yeah.
for it.
When I look at the engineers and I see all these engineers on each project, and one does hydro, one does geo, and you look at all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I just didn't realize it took that many to do a study on some of that stuff, so. All right, anybody else?
Jose, can I address that?
Yes.
If you would like to email the questions to one of us, we'll be glad to pass it along. Carol did that a while back, and I sent them on to Sonia. The reason I say that is to make sure that nothing is misworded, because I don't want to take something out of context or write it down wrong. And then we sent it to her, and she responded, and we sent it back to Carol, sent it back to everybody, because I think that worked pretty well, didn't it, with the percentage you had? So if you'd like to do that, I mean, you send it to one of us and we'll be glad, or send it to Julie, either one, and we'll be glad to pass it on to make sure we get the wording correct as to what your questions are.
Commissioner Odom?
Yes, on page 26, under one of the employees there, if you look at 919 and 923, it's a travel day. The mileage is 561 and 561 for mileage. But if you look at the documentation, it doesn't tell you where they're traveling to or from. And I can't imagine that that would be acceptable when you're doing billing, that you can put travel, but you don't put where you're going or where you come from. That's page 26 under Lori's.
What day?
Did you see it? You need to read it.
No, I couldn't hear you. I think you said 916.
It's page 26, the date, it's the only 2 with the large mileage on that page. The date is 9/19 and the date is 9/23. And it's showing 561 miles twice, but in the description, it never tells where they're traveling to or from. And I would think that you would need to explain your travel if you're gonna turn in your mileage.
Actually, they wrote down projects and they gave each project number, and they were actually out with Jonathan, Shannon, and Karen, and Jerry.
There's only one at the very bottom. It says travel to office in Florida on the very, yes, on a different page for that individual, which is 580 something miles. I can't imagine locally in one day, you could go 500 and something miles. On a separate page, the same girl has, on page 24, on 10/3, it's got that she traveled to the office in Cottondale, Florida for 588 miles, 0.8. The other ones would be local, but I do not see where they left the state in any of those explanations.
So I think that too would be a question that you would email to myself or to science director, and are you to Chair Collins?
That's okay, it's just that, I guess the question is that we're about to vote on approving this or not, so without those answers, I'm just saying that does make some difference about what we're being billed for. And one more on page 21, it's got two different times that this individual mentions, the first on 9/29 and also on 10/1, that they're going to Nashville, but one is 290 miles and one is 358 miles. That both of them are traveling that to Nashville, but there's two different mileages for Nashville. So I just wanted to point that out too. So those are my questions, which I think we all know how I feel anyway, but this is the things that are important if we're great at billing.
I do mileage for the highway patrol, and I can tell you that where we work or rec is not necessarily, the mileage will never be the same. Yes, it's a Carter County, but it depends on where you're at in Carter County. So it changes, that can change from where we're at, to, where we're going. It won't always be the same.
Page 21.
I wasn't yielded yet. I just had one more point. I hadn't yielded yet. I just want to point out, this is their statement. This is their invoice. This is the professionals that have misspelled travel, mileage, expense, and in details, we can bill for 500 and something miles. You couldn't even turn that into your local job if you did not write down your true travel from point A to point B. This is the individual that is the professional for FEMA. Just keep that in mind. It's not going to end well, guys.
Yes.
The 358 mile is from Eden Branch Road. I don't know how far it is from here to Eden Branch Road. Can anybody answer that for me?
That's on the boat now.
It depends on if you go through Atlanta first.
No, I mean direct from there to here, not up through Knoxville or Atlanta.
It just depends on what you go
Because
around.
the difference fee is approximately 60 miles, maybe 70 miles. And I don't know how far it is out there, but the other one, 290, is from Eden Creek Road. 25 miles from my house to here. I'm, about the same distance up Eden Creek Road. 143 is much far from 19. That could be the difference right there, just in that.
And we double that as well. Far to a trip to a location, the extra is going to be the difference there and back to the starting point. It's actually half of what the difference is.
Where it'll be. All right. Almost clear.
Anybody else have comment? Yeah, I did have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I had some questions about that also, and I just don't feel comfortable until we get some of these cleared up. That's my personal opinion on the vote, so.
It's up to you guys. They are contracted
We'll
service.
we'll still vote, I'm just saying, I also had some questions on that also.
I can't tell y'all what to do. I mean, that's entirely up to your pleasure. They are a contracted service. And, so it's a contract. We already know, Attorney Hartman's already told us what can happen there. So it's entirely up to you guys.
No, we'll still vote because it's already gone, but I wanted to let everybody have a chance to make their comment. Is there anybody else?
Is this something we want to table and to give them a chance to answer before we take a vote?
You're looking another month.
Now we have a commission meeting.
Yeah, you can't really table it. It has to come back in the same meeting. So you could vote to send it back to budget committee or to delay it until the next meeting. Those are votes you can take. But yeah, there's already been a motion to approve in a second. So that's the motion.
Say,
Let's say withdraw those motions.
withdraw.
I don't know. I can't read the room, so I'm not really sure.
So no withdrawal.
Withdraw. You made the motion, do you withdraw?
I can withdraw, but I'm trying to read, I'm trying to see
We should
what,
vote one way or the other.
So you don't withdraw, and then we have to vote.
Withdraw the motion.
No, she's not.
Okay.
He did, he said no, so they can't withdraw, so we'll have to take the vote. There's no more discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Oh, it's the same. We'll vote on the same. It won't change. We're ready to vote. Okay, motion did not pass.
So do we want to, can we just go back on and motion to bring it back? Should we do that?
I mean, it failed, so if they want to ask questions or clarify, resubmit it as a different invoice, but this one was, I mean, it have to be changed in some way and resubmitted different than the way it's presented now.
Budget. Right.
Yeah, I mean, this passed budget, so yeah, we'd start the process over. I mean, a new revised invoice would have to go back before budget again and then come back here.
I just want to be clear what I need to ask them. So you're questioning mileage, you're questioning spelling,
That's, yeah.
is that what we're questioning? I just want to make sure
Danny
I'm
wants
clear.
detailed on the mileage.
The details on
Danny
mileage.
wants the spelling fixed, and what else did you say?
Can I add some? We just need an accurate invoice, period. We need accuracy. I mean, if there's discrepancies in it, it's got to be accurate. If we are turning this into FEMA with the hopes of getting that money back, it's got to be right. Because isn't that what we hired them to do? And isn't that what they stress? That you hired us because everything has to be, all your I's have to be dotted, your T's crossed. Well, if they don't even do it on their invoice, then how in the world are we gonna get our money back? So accuracy of the invoice is what I would expect.
Are you looking at anybody else's invoices?
Hmm?
Have you looked for spelling?
Yes, ma'am, I have read a lot of invoices, thank you, in the last 3 years.
I see spelling
I'll see
issues
spelling.
in their invoices too. I mean, I don't,
Yeah, if you go back through the minutes, I've corrected spelling on other things. It's not just
Like
one
all
company.
these, you went over all these,
They're not specialists.
so that's what I'm wondering. I'm just curious. All right, so that one failed. Let's move on to the next one.
Go back to budget. Motion here to set it back. Is it past budget?
You can do that, but I mean, my understanding was you were going to ask them to submit a revised invoice. So it would be a different revised invoice submitted. You can't just keep submitting the same thing over and over again if it gets denied. So I assume there's going to be a revised invoice submitted. You can certainly vote to send it back, with questions. That's another way to do it, if you want to do that from here too. But either way, it gets you back before the budget committee again. Because, whatever's changed is not what the budget committee has already approved.
Okay. So we don't need a motion. More detail.
I is a motion to approve a check request and payment to Shouse Professional Services for invoice 101125 in the amount of $1,200.
We have to have a second for that. Okay, second, Commissioner Wynn, Todd Smith.
I was trying to get in there before a second was made because we couldn't table it last time because a motion had been made. So we're right back where we are then.
No, the table thing is just semantics. If you table something, technically it has to come up before the end of the same meeting. So what you really want to say, if you want to delay it till the next meeting, is I'll make a motion, we delay this until whatever the next meeting is. I mean, that's all I was saying about that. But yeah, but once a motion has been made to approve it, second, that's the motion on the floor. You can make it, somebody can make a motion.
Well, I will tell you, as far as looking at everybody's faces and seeing how you voted last time, and since spelling and accuracy is an issue, I will remove my motion on I at this time.
Commissioner Webb, you removed. Commissioner Odom?
I just want to make a comment. I know what was said a while ago, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Have we checked everybody else's invoices?
Yes.
But again, the point in checking their invoice is we're paying them high dollar every month to turn in all of the I's dotted, all the T's crossed for FEMA and all of this stuff for the flood. That's what makes their invoices different. Summers and Taylor, I don't care if they misspell something because they're not filling out paperwork to get us money back of all of 47 million or whatever more that we're probably gonna have to pay back. That's what makes us different. If they can't turn us in an invoice properly, what in the heck has been turned into FEMA is my concern. That's what makes it different in looking at their invoice than anyone else's invoice. Because they are the ones turning in billing to someone else for our county, not just turning and billing to us to get their paycheck only.
Commissioner Odom?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, did you want to say?
Donnie's next.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Cagle.
When finance gets these invoices, does it come with documentation attached to
What they
it?
send me is what I give to you.
What,
What they send me is what I give to you.
so you don't require them to send you a travel log so you can check their travel, make sure their timesheets are correct? You don't get none of that?
We don't do that with any of our contractors.
Why not? Why not?
I don't know if an engineer works 10 hours or 5 hours, if that's justified on a bridge. So I don't know how I would, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking me to do.
What I'm asking
I'm an
is,
engineer.
are they documentation that they filled out on their mileage trips, like a mileage log? Then we don't know whether they were, where they went to Heaton's branch and to Nashville. We're just taking their word for it on an invoice. We're not seeing the documentation to back it all up.
What are you wanting to see?
I
Are
should
you
say,
wanting the mileage, the picture of their mileage when they leave Heaton Branch to when they get to Nashville? Is that what you're looking for? How would you document that? I'm just curious.
When I traveled, I had a log. When I got
But you can
somewhere,
make up a log the same as anybody else.
it doesn't
Truckers do it
matter.
all the time.
Where is your documentation that follows your invoice? That's not documentation. That's their word that
Well, then
what
tell me
you
what
did.
you want.
yeah, I'm not understanding what you want. I'm not glad to ask them for me to talk. I just don't think I understand what you're looking
I yield.
for. I mean, I'm
Commissioner Webb?
I understand what they're saying about documentation, but when I traveled, I've been a truck driver, I've been in the Army, I've traveled miles and miles and miles and was given mileage by the people. In the Army, we were authorized so many miles from point A to point B. If the route I took was more than what I was authorized, I didn't get paid for. If I found a shorter route than what I was authorized to mileage, I could get paid for that. I could get paid for the mileage that they were allowed. 100 miles, I got paid for 100 miles. I did not create a log to say I left at such and such a time and arrived such and such a time, so many miles. I did not take pictures of speedometer. I traveled extensively in the Army, very extensively. And when I got back to finance and turned in my vouchers, they said, mileage, you give them the mileage, you tell them city to city. They give you however many miles the Army allows for. It's probably the same way with state contracts or anything of that nature. somebody working to work for the state or FEMA will say, you get so many miles from here to here. If you travel around it, then you document, we went here, we went here, we went here. But you're allowed so many miles by federal standards. When I was in the military, this was back in the 70s. It may have changed since then, I don't know. That's how we got paid, and we went mileage. We drove our own cars sometimes, so we got mileage because we drove our cars. So I don't really see the big deal, because the route I take may be different than the route the Army allows mileage for. You-
Mr. Smith?
I'll add a little bit something to that. I've had 3 jobs in the past that require me to keep a travel log. Not for so much as for my reimbursement, but for my protection if I ever got audited by the IRS. If you turn in mileage and you don't have documentation of that mileage and you get audited, I can promise you they'll pull that mileage out of that return. That's the way I would think it should be done. I know that's the way I've always done it. On all 3 jobs that I did, when I had to go out from the office, I wrote down the mileage in the logbook when I left the office. When I got back to the office, I wrote down the mileage when I returned to the office. And that's what I was able to claim or turn in for reimbursement. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's still an honor system.
It
You
is.
can lie about it. I mean, we're already questioning this honor system, so which one is it gonna be? Are you gonna trust that honor system and not this honor system? I mean, I'm just saying, there's a fine line there. What are you gonna do?
That's the IRS system though.
But it's
But
still
that's a federal government system. That's their, it's based on trust, but that's in the law. I mean, we can all go back and we can look that up as far as the IRS is concerned. And I don't know how it would transfer to this. But I imagine at some point, some link somewhere would have to be done the same way. I know even during the flood, I kept a log for the first 3 weeks of what I drove, just to be able to turn into the EMA when they needed that. Even though it was sometimes it was a guess, because I knew I went the same route the day before, things of that nature. But legally, as far as the IRS is concerned, if you do not turn in a travel log or have access to a travel log, if you're audited, I can promise you, you will not be reimbursed for that on your taxes, whether it's fake or not.
Just one.
So anyone
I
else?
yield.
Oh, sorry. Is there anyone else?
It's just a quick one. I mentioned I did drive a truck for a while. Truckers use logbooks for years and years and years. And it's an honor system. But the reason they went with the ELDs for the Federal Motor Carriers Act is because truckers would carry 3 or 4 different logbooks. And wherever they were at, the closest logbook that they had set up to where they got stopped out, how long you been traveling? Well, here's my logbook. If we've been traveling 12 hours and he handed him a 3-hour logbook, he's legal in this cop's eyes. Because he didn't see that other. That's why they went to ELDs. They couldn't be trusted. I would think it's most likely a point A to point B mileage allowance by the Fed.
And that may be the case. They may say, all right, I'm leaving Heaton Branch at such and such address, and this is my home. And they may do it that way. But we can ask. I mean, Carolyn will send those out, and so send in your questions. We'll send them over there.
You can send them to me tomorrow morning, then I can get them back to them so we can have them back for budget Monday night. I don't get them until Monday. I mean, it's not fair to not giving them enough time to respond. I don't know what their schedule is.
All right, y'all ready to move on?
I have one more thing. I just going to Carolyn. I think what I'm hearing and what I feel is we just want a documented point A, point B. When did you start? Where did you end? That would cover us. That would not cover them. If the employee lies about it, that's on the employee. But as far as FEMA is concerned, I think that would cover us as far as FEMA is concerned. More documentation, better documentation of mileage. I yield.
Just to sum up what I'm saying is just in your description, if you're charging for mileage, then put where you left from and where you're going. Because just like on that page, the only time it mentions is Florida, but where did you leave from? 500 and something miles. If you're turning in 500 something miles, you would think in their description, you would choose to put where you're traveling from and to. That's just the basics. And that's what a lot of the invoices that irritate me in seeing it is there's not a description of truly. And if they were sitting where we're sitting and we're looking at this and it's taxpayers' money that we're talking about, we would want a description. This isn't a bridge that we're able to see. This isn't rock on a road that you can drive up and check out. This is thin air that we hear that pages are going in and we're going to get all this money back, and then we're entrusting them to do this. And I just feel like that's the least that they can do, being that they're one of the highest paying groups here for each individual's help that I'm seeing on the pages right now on a regular basis. Then they need to be professional enough to just be in detail. That's all we're asking.
Okay, so I think we can ask for that to be Carolyn. I'm sorry,
I can't see it.
we go ahead without the email sent to you, have that sent to her, and ask for detailed, yes.
I'm happy to do that as long as I understand what are we just doing it for the Shouse contract, or are we doing it for RK&K and the other ones that have mileage? I'm just trying to understand. I want to make sure I'm clear.
I think that
What
it's
I'm doing.
people that will pay.
It's, my concern is the ones that we're paying right now that are supposed to be experts on billing, that are not detailing their mileage, their invoices have, the misspelling just shows concern of even more so of the professionalism of what they do. If our invoices are not correct and we're the county, and it's just a simple invoice and there's that many problems already in this invoice, I'm very concerned at what in the heck FEMA has. So I guess what we're asking is, if they're gonna put down mileage, then they need to put where they're leaving from and where they're going in their description. That's just a typical, to me, elementary schools, age-wise, if you were doing billing. If my teenager, who I am raising one now, my niece, and I give her, she's gonna tell me she needs gas money, then I'm gonna say, where did you leave from and where are you going? And if she comes back with more than she went, I'm gonna say, then tell me where you went. That's just simple things, but this is high dollar money when we're having 500 and something miles. I think we deserve to know where they went, where they started. That's just typical things. And this is not the first. This has been through this whole contract. And is it clear what we're asking? And it's for this company, because this company is the one that, again, I can't go up and check on the road that we just paid them for. They're not doing a bridge. This is what we're entrusting that they're doing. We just want to know what. That's it. And this is a lot of money that we're paying them to do these things. So I think that if they are like they say they are, then we shouldn't be having these problems in upcoming invoices.
Okay, so Carol, is that a?
Yes, yeah.
I don't know how it's.
All right, let's move on to J, motion to approve payment to RK&K for invoice number 25020.000-8 in the amount of $76,067.30 for engineering services for Pogo Bridge 1.
Second by Commissioner Clausen, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
Okay, K is motion to approve payment to RK&K for invoice number 25021.000-8 in the amount of $21,120 for engineering services for Poker Bridge 2.
Second by Commissioner Whaley, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
L is a motion to approve payment to RK&K for invoice number 25047.000-8 in the amount of $61,058.75 for engineering services for Long Hollow Bridge.
Second by Commissioner Whaley, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Nope, sorry.
Thank you, motion passed.
Proofreading invoice.
Chicken spell it out.
M is a motion to approve the check request for $12,332.73 and payment to Hinkle Environmental Services LLC for invoice number 30399 in the amount of $312,070.48 for environmental services. A PO was already approved for this vendor for $299,737.75.
Commissioner Johnson, did you have something you need to discuss?
No, ma'am.
Second by Commissioner Range. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
N is a motion to approve payment to Sunbelt Rentals for invoice number 162-193-666-0014 in the amount of $2,436 for temporary road signs. PO has already been approved for this vendor.
Second by Commissioner Smith, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
O is a motion to approve payment to Child Lake Products for invoice number 2077 in the amount of $2,900 for temporary traffic signals. A PO has already been approved for this vendor.
Second by Commissioner Whaley, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
All right, these next ones are bid outs. So P is a motion to award the Hampton Creek Road repairs bid to Summerson Taylor for a total cost of $905,850 and to authorize the mayor to sign the contract. This is a Helene Flood Road repair project and it's going to be paid from the bond issue proceeds.
Second by Commissioner Quinn, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
For a total cost of $664,920 and to authorize the mayor to sign the contract. This is a Helene Flood Road repair project and will be paid from bond issue proceeds.
Second by Commissioner Brown, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you. Motion passed.
R is a motion to award the Laurel Highlands Road repairs bid to Baker's Construction Services for a total cost of $730,660 and to authorize the mayor to sign the contract. This too is a Helene Flood Road repair project and will be paid from bond issue proceeds.
Second by Commissioner Brown, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
S is a motion to award the Long Hollow Bridge over Doe River bid to Davis Construction Services for a total cost of $819,853.40, and to authorize the mayor to sign the contract. This is for bridge repairs due to the Helene flood and will be paid from the bond issue proceeds.
Second by Commissioner Whaley, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Okay, motion passed.
T is a motion to award the Perkins Hollow Road repairs bid to Beam Construction for a total cost of $142,054 and to authorize the mayor to sign the contract. This too is a Helene flood road repair and will be paid from the bond issue proceeds.
Second by Commissioner Brown, is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Thank you, motion passed.
That's it.
Is there any commissioner comments? That's not already commented. Good.
She looked at me like, Shirley, please not do that. No, I think I owe an explanation. I could hear some of the questioning in some folks' voices, especially on budget, on why I voted for the Shouse invoices, yes in budget and no on the floor. Well, I'm going to tell you, so there'll be no questions of anybody's mind. The fact that there's so many misspelled words in a document that's been submitted, that's bad. There's no excuse for that anywhere. Everybody has spell check on their documents. I have been in their corner. I have fought for them. I have fought with them. They have been a great deal of help to me. But there's no excuse for screwing up their daggone wording on an invoice or sending to a county for payment. That's my reason. I yield.
Commissioner Deal?
I just got one question. What's the total spend so far, Carolyn? Do you know that we're waiting on reimbursement, and how much have we been reimbursed so far?
For what?
For the disaster. How much have we spent on the disaster?
I didn't bring that document in here, and yes, I've been putting it together today to include these invoices, the ones that passed, so.
Can we start getting that at every regular commission meeting like the next one?
It will be at budget. I will give it at budget, which is what I've been doing once we get through this meeting, so I can add it to the list. That list changes pretty much every time we get invoices in, and I try to get as much in as possible. I got 4 invoices today, so I'm gonna add that to the list and bring it in at budget.
I mean, it don't have to be current, like that day, that hour, but I think it'd be good for everybody to know how much the outgo is and how much the incoming is on a monthly basis, like at our regular commission meeting.
And I've been
Nice to know.
monthly. I provided it budget.
I'm not on budget anymore, so.
Well, it goes into the commission packets as well, and that's
I'll
not
look-
something
I'll
I
look
can
for
do
it.
once a week.
I'll look for it.
Any other comments?
Madam Chair, one thing in Commissioner Deal's comments are, the only thing we've received is $316,000. And that was on the rapid refunding program, which has taken, a year and a half. That's how rapid it is. Expenditures for the total of it, and I'm going to tell you, this is within 500,000, was right between 10 and $11 million.
Well, that's pieces of it. There's several pieces now because we got stuff coming out of the.
Total amount out of fund balance between 10 and
That's
$11
different,
million.
yes.
So thank you. That's what I want to know.
I'm done, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, just a couple reminders, the next meeting is November 17th. We will be voting on the spot in District 5. I'm not sure who or how many have turned in papers for that.
Has it been advertised?
Yes. And also, don't forget your 8 hours of commissioner service. Don't let that sneak up on you. I didn't write down the cutoff date, but I'll get that for the next meeting. Just keep up with it. Some people have already sent theirs in to me, and then I've sent them on. So just don't forget about that. And I think that's all I have. Oh,
Next year, you're probably, this year, we're on.
well, it started, I think, in July, so in July, right?
I thought you meant.
Right, no, not till it's not due in the next December. I'll get the date, I had it written down and I'll get it back up with me. Shannon wants to speak for just a few minutes.
All these contracts that we're having to come bring before the full commission, that is holding me up. I mean, I've got bids out that they hadn't even got the notification they've been awarded, and it's 3 and 4 weeks out. And Summer Tyler's, like for Hampton Creek, Heaton Creek, to approve those tonight. That was bid out, Hampton, the bid was let out, June 22 for Heaton and Hampton. They have to order prefab concrete boxes. That has to be made, formed, poured concrete, set for 2 weeks, maybe more, to cure before they can deliver them. But if they don't know that they've got the bid and I'm having to wait a month, tell them, then they've got to put in the order for the product. That's 2 more weeks to 3. This job's not getting done. My biggest concern is a contract's put in bid, they've done the paperwork, they've turned in the bid. I'm having to tell them it's gonna be another month. We've got to bid the 17th, the next commission meeting. You won't know anything about that bid that evening, because it's not been reviewed. Carolyn hasn't had time to go over it. Josh has not had time to read it. So that's gonna be in December before you do the next one. Some of these contractors, I'm afraid, ain't gonna put in time to put in a bid in November and wait till the end of December to say, have I got it or not? When I call them and tell them, or Carolyn calls and tells, yeah, you won the bid. Well, we're not interested now. We've done pulled out of Rome Mountain. We're in Greenville, wherever. And out of all the bids we've had 4 contractors come to bid. The same 4 every time. If we don't start telling them quicker that they've got these, I'm afraid they're gonna pull out, and I don't know who we're gonna do. So, I don't know if unions can, used to, to my knowledge, unless somebody tell me different, people put in a bid, reviewed it, Carolyn went over it, Josh went through or the county attorney, Josh, whoever, at the time, went through the contract. If it was all good, legal, everything was good, they called and awarded the bid within, I'm gonna say, a week. I'm gonna have to wait 2 and 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I've got 3 that's not even been turned in as a bid. We're hoping to get turned in next month. So if I'm gonna have to wait almost a month from once we open the bid and it sees who's got the lowest, that's putting me behind, way behind. And I'm scared to death that we ain't gonna get the contracts. And I can understand them not waiting when they can go and do other jobs for TDOT, North Carolina, Virginia, wherever. Some are Tyler's and Bakers and these others, they're not just little people that just want to sit and wait on us. They're gonna make money, they're gonna go where money's at. So I don't know if there's something else can do or something can be done, but something needs to. Thank you.
Is there any questions on that? What the problem is?
Is there, yes, I guess we'd ask, our county attorney, is there anything that we can do to help speed that process upward? Obviously, what Shannon's brought forth is the issue.
You can certainly utilize the normal procurement process, you know, that we've done for everything else but this.
Well, after to sum it up a little better to help facilitate what's going on. Originally, the normal procurement process, the bid process is just that. The bids come in, they open them up, they choose the lowest bidder. The finance director has the power to do the award along with the office holder of the highway department, sheriff's department, who's ever involved. That's the normal procurement process and bid process. It never really comes to the county commission. This is different because when I released the declaration, the county commission wanted to approve all invoices, all contracts, and that's what put these special meetings in place. So now that the money we've gotten the money to do these projects, and now all these bid packages are coming in, what he's having to do is when he opened a bid 2 weeks ago, and Summers and Taylor got the bid, they were the lowest bidder. They don't have the permission to say, okay, you've got the contract, let's start. They're having to wait until you all get to this official called meeting, approve it, and then we'll let Summers, like he will let these contractors know tomorrow that they got the 4 contracts that were approved tonight, and they're already 3 weeks out. That's slowing down them ordering materials. That's also slowing down, keeping them, if they finish on one of our roads and they've got another road that's been let out for bid, they can move that equipment from that road to that other road immediately instead of having to pull off and go back to Johnson City and bring that equipment back. So it's really slowing down the road projects, and we're going into winter. It's all of that's going to slow down anyways.
Would that not solve the problem of having 2 meetings, special meetings on most of this?
If the
Because pretty
commission
much all
chose,
this tonight was highway.
if the commission chose to go back to the normal procurement processes that are set in the county rules.
And it was understood why we did it initially, because we had so many different avenues, you know, so many contractors, so many things coming at us. Well, now we're looking just on roads and bridges. So, and we are also on a terrible time limit because winter's coming. And, you know, and our CS just gave us the okay to do all this stuff. So that's, yes, you can ask that, but yeah.
Could we make, could we make a motion to allow this to happen for the highway department due to the fact winter is coming? We don't want to hold them back. We need these fixed faster. To make a motion to allow the highway department to use the regular procedures for their particular bids.
Yes, just understand that as per the procedures, the way it's always been, I mean, those awards will be made and the contracts will be let before there's any approval from you all.
Okay, well then I'll make the motion to allow the highway department to do the normal bidding procedures outside of the agreement of what we have on the other things right now in order for the highway department to be able to assume all of the work quicker and to secure the bidding.
I'll second that.
Will you tell her, Julie? Tell her, Julie, you're closer to her.
Lord,
To assume normal.
to use the old procedure of letting the highway department and the finance director do the contracts.
Procurement process.
Procurement process.
Makes sense this time.
Well, the highway department and finance department to
To do the procurement process on these bids.
Yes. As well.
This is basically going back to how it's
Yes.
used to do it.
For the highway department. Just the highway department.
What else is there anything else we're meeting for?
Well, we
Why
have
don't we
to
just go back to
we have to
across
do,
the board? Is there a reason to just take the highway department and say for them, or can we go to the regular procurement to everyone? There's no one else involved in these early meetings that I'm aware of.
Well, not lately, there hasn't been, but I mean, there has, when we first started having the second meetings, there was other.
the biggest thing is some of these POs we approved in September, And we're just now getting back around to a check request on a lot of them, which slows things up. So if you look at your PO that was already approved, and that's what I'm having to read on there, PO was already approved. It's just kind of like bringing it before you twice when it's unnecessary to bring it twice.
Madam Chair, the comments made by the road superintendent is concerning the award, the speed of the award. The Finance department, they receive the bids, they open the bids, they read the bids, they score the bids, and then the selection. Having to wait 3 weeks to assign. Now, and then tied into Commissioner Smith's, that's another ball of wax. These are invoices that are coming in, and if you let them linger, they have penalties on every one of them. And that is a major audit finding in this county. We've only got hit once in it. But you got some of them, if you got $1 million bill and they've got a 10% because you're 2 days late, that's $100,000. That's why we're having to do the 2 on bill payment, not on award contract.
Well, my comment was concerning just procurement of contracts. If we go back to that original the way of doing it, we don't have to carve out a niche just for the highway department. That's what I'm saying as far as awarding the contracts are. Nothing else. I'm not even discussing the second meeting. But as far as awarding those contracts, is there a reason to just niche out the highway department? Can we not just say, as far as return to normal procurement procedures outside of the emergency declaration a year in? Surely, to goodness, that would be an option.
I agree to amend the motion.
Commissioner Odom and. Yep. It's the highway. Am I hearing that correctly? Not just the highway?
We learned it right. Attorney Harder.
Sure, yeah. Turn to the normal procurement procedures
Across the board.
across the board. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Well, their process in there, when they open a bid, and if the department that is involved has the funds, you can go ahead and sign it right then. I mean, there's no
They've been treated differently here because
because
if you've got a contract amount approved, you're approved to pay that. Once you have a PO approved, you're approved to pay it up to that PO. We're just coming in and approving every check on that PO. That's not normal.
that's right.
Any other discussion?
Procedures, as long as they got money in the line.
Okay, so I understand what we're voting on, to go back
Oh,
to.
wait for procurement.
Okay,
The regular. Did they get the wording correct?
I don't know. Let's see how it works.
I think, not just the highway department.
Just the highway.
It's gonna be all.
She changed it
It's the
to.
regular procedures, procurement regulations.
That's what their motion is.
If you got money and you make it, it's automatically rise.
Okay, there's no more discussion, it's just been, we will vote.
Sorry, I'm talking.
Voice vote, please, yes.
All right, thank you, motion passed.
Thank you.
Are you talking about just awarding bids? Because that's what the motion says. Are you talking about returning to the normal policies and procedures of the finance department for everything? Are you talking about just award?
Just bid procedure.
Bid procedures.
Just the
bids.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? No? Okay. Then Bill will adjourn.
Thank you.
Did you do this? I didn't have to sleep and he goes. I'm gonna drive him home. He'll fall asleep. He's not trying to.
If you don't have to.
Good comment.